Hey y'all, welcome back to Ascending with Ashley. I'm Ashley, and this is Monday Movies, and we're doing the very last Hunger Games, Mockingjay 2. If you're new here, we are breaking down the movies, but we started with Hunger Games for like a critical analysis and also like taking the lens of the movie and putting it on our reality to understand better / fight back. Okay, so Mockingjay 2 is the big one because this is when... Oh, this is full of spoilers. If you haven't watched these movies, they're in the description box below. They're free on YouTube. Come back after you watch them. If you have watched them, no worries, but I will be doing spoiler alerts because that's the only way we can talk about this shit. I have a fuck ton of notes, and the boys are outside playing because they do better when I'm not there. When I'm there, they're like crazy. So I might have to do that, but let's get into it. The movie starts out with Katniss having her neck all fucked up because Peeta tried to kill her because he's like a capital mutt that they've turned into a weapon against her. And then she's like, I'm fine, whatever. They go to... I have lots of quotes, but I'm like doing the premise pretty specific on this one. I watched the movie yesterday and it took like 4.5 hours taking notes. So, anyway, Katniss is like talking to President Coin. So President Coin is the president of the 13th district, which is a military district that removed itself from the capital reign, whatever. Okay? It's important to know. All right. So, at this point, all the districts are going at each other. People are sticking up for the districts. People are sticking up for the capital. And there's one district, District 2, which is like the military industrial complex district that supplies military for the capital. So District 2, District 13 is trying to get District 2. All the other districts have kind of gotten on board with the rebellion or revolution. So Katniss goes there with like her crew, and she gets mad at Gale. Gale is like her love interest from the very first movie before shit started with Peeta, okay? He's, you know, the good guy, all right? And she gets mad at Gale because he's like planning to drop bombs on District 2 to get the people who are loyalists to the capital to surrender. And she's like, hell nah. And she starts to see the corruption around her within her inner circle. So she's talking to Gale about the bomb force in District 2 joining, and Gale says, anyone who supports the capital can die. I'll put it up here. Kat snaps back with the logic. He says, no one who supports the capital is innocent. And she says, with that kind of thinking, you can kill whoever you want. This is a big foreshadow of this movie. You can send kids off to the Hunger Games to keep the districts in line. Gale says, it's war, Katniss. Sometimes killing isn't personal. Figured if anyone knew that, it was you. And Katniss says, bitch, of all people, I know that it's always personal, right? So they do the bombings, and they're about to do this, like, another, propaganda thing with Katniss, and these loyalists come in a train. They're in the underground, and this dude jumps out with a gun, holds Katniss at gunpoint, and says, tell me one reason I shouldn't kill you. Now this is where shit starts to get deep, right? This is within like the first 15 minutes of the movie. Katniss says, I can't. I guess that's the problem, isn't it? You burned my district to the ground. We each have every reason to want to kill each other. So if you want to kill me, do it. Make Snow happy. I'm tired of killing his slaves for him. And this dude says, I'm not his slave, bitch. I'm adding some words here. Alright, Katniss says, that's why I killed Cato, and he killed Thrush, and Thrush killed Clove. It just goes around, and who wins? Always Snow. Snow's the president of the capital, if you're brand spanking. Alright. I am done being a piece in his game. District 12, District 2. We have no fight except the one the capital gave us. Why are you fighting the rebels? Your neighbors, your family. Katniss addressing all. Dude's like, okay, fine, whatever, bitch, I hear you. And she starts addressing all for this, like, propaganda. These people are not your enemy. We all have only one enemy, and that's Snow. And he corrupts everyone and everything. He turns the best of us against each other. Stop killing for him. Tonight, turn your weapons to the Capitol. Turn your weapons to Snow. And then she gets shot, and it cuts, and it, like, shows Snow watching that, right? And then, he has this, like, round table where he kills this guy because he sucks. I don't know. He just kills people all the time, like Hitler kind of thing. So she gets taken to District 13 for the hospital wing. Gonna note here, because it's gonna come up in the end, her sister and her mother are medics in District 13, and her sister is the whole reason she joined the Hunger Games, to save her. So we'll just put that there. It'll come in handy later. So then Snow's like having this round table, and he's like, Katniss isn't dead. These motherfuckers are gonna come to the Capitol, and we're gonna have all the Hunger Games and the game makers make the Capitol, you know, impossible to get through, right? With the Hunger Games. I wrote, cold-blooded bro. Katniss decides she's gonna kill Snow. So while she's still in District 13 healing, she's like, bitch, I'm gonna go kill that asshole. And she goes back to the people, where her close people are, right? Back to District 2. I'm not sure if it's District 2 or District 8. I think it's 2, because that's where she left from. And she, like, goes back to all of them. But then they say something about District 8. So anyway, all 13 districts are standing against the Capitol. Women in, Coin says that, so she didn't know, Coin, remember the president, didn't know, that Katniss had left. And so she sees her on surveillance. And so she's, like, talking to the game maker dude. And she's like, dude, these are our orders, because she knows Katniss is rogue now and she's gonna go do something. And so she's like, we gave her these orders, we're gonna take credit for what she does. And then there's a really cool quote by the commander of District 2. I don't know if she's a commander or what, but she's the one that actually ends up becoming president at the very, very end. Yeah, spoilers, I told you. And she says this really good quote, yes, we've already made history, but our future starts tomorrow. And then that's when everybody in District 2 decides that they're going to go fuck up with the Capitol. And then overhead... Oh, wait. I missed a whole fucking lot. Jesus Christ, Hootie. So then they go to the Capitol, and shit gets weird. She's with her, like, folks, but nobody knows she wants to kill Snow. And they have to get around all of these things. Boggs is this brother who is, like, the head of their little military group. I don't know, there's about 10 of them. He ends up dying. Peeta comes and joins because, unbeknownst to everyone else, Coin really wants Katniss dead, even though she's been, like, utilizing her for this revolution, right? She's been playing her like a little chess piece. So they get through the Capitol. Folks in their little thing had died, and these peacemakers came, and they thought that they had taken out Katniss and everybody else. So they played it on, like, the big screen for everybody that these folks had died. And then they find out that they weren't dead, and they were in the undergrounds. And then Snow unleashed these, like, crazy fucking mutts is what they're called. Really just pulling out everything to try and kill them. They escape. They go to this one lady's house, and she's like, I'm here to kill Snow. Like, meh. And so this woman helped them. And then the Snow gives this order for everyone in the Capitol to proceed to the presidential estate. And what I wrote down, what's really important, is the overhead, like, intercom saying that was happening as folks were going to the Capitol under orders, like they were meant to go to the president's house. Overheard is, by order of the president, Snow, all residents must proceed to the presidential estate. Please continue forward in a calm and orderly fashion. Additional food, medicine, and clothing will be provided upon arrival. So that's playing over and over and over on the intercom system as folks are marching into the presidential estate. Shit starts to get weird and chaotic. And then the intercom says, the children will be received first. Stay calm. Bring your children forward. And then bombs are dropped onto like all these folks that were cattled into this area. Where have you seen that before? Another bomb drops. Hi, babe. Okay, you want me to come outside? I'm coming. Hang on, y'all. Alright, I'm coming. Watch out, Mar. Come on, babe. Big stack. See, now these two are just gonna do stupid shit now that I'm out here. So then Katniss ends up in the hospital again. This is about like the 8th time. After the bombs are dropped, and she sees her sister get killed because she was a medic responding. And right before that bomb was dropped, Gale, remember Gale, did this really weird improv where he was like, shoot me, Katniss, but he got pulled away by these peacemakers, and the peacekeepers are like in full like Star Wars uniform, so you can't tell who they are. But Katniss was like, that's weird. And then the bombs were dropped. So Gale was taken to safety, we find out after. And let me open this snack. You don't want it open? Okay. And then Haymitch is like wakes her up when she's in the hospital, and he's like telling her what happened and how it's all done. And then so everything's like chill and peaceful, and Katniss, wait, I'm missing, oh, here it is. Katniss is taken to the Capitol. She doesn't know that Snow is still alive, and she's like in the presidential estate, like it's all empty. And then she goes out to the greenhouse, and Snow has like a rose fetish. Anyway, so she doesn't know he's in there. And the commander that said that shit about how, yeah, we've already done, oh god, the bugs are so bad. She like grants her permission. Stop it. Y'all, I'm trying to do a video. All right, I was trying to be inside, but y'all brought me out here, so let's be nice, okay? I'm almost done. I'm not stopping now. I have 12 minutes in. Anyway, so Katniss goes into this greenhouse. She doesn't know Snow is in there, and Snow's like, oh, so pretty. Roses. Guys, Woodstock, come on, man. You think my whole life is moderating their fights. Anyway, and he goes, he says something about Coin and how like, oh, Katniss, you and I were both played. And he like apologizes about Katniss's sister, and she's like, you dropped those bombs. And he's like, bitch, no, I didn't. He said, I'm not above killing children, but I'm not wasteful. There's no reason to destroy a pen full of capital children. None at all. Oh, I take life for a specific reason, and there was no reason to destroy a pen full of children, or capital children. None at all. And then he's coughing up blood, because he's like evil, I guess. I don't know. And he said, I must concede it was a masterful move on Coin's part. The idea that I was bombing our own helpless children to hold back the rebels. It turned the last of my guards against me. There was no resistance left, inside the Capitol or the mansion. Did you know that it aired live? So this is Snow talking to Katniss. He said, there's a particular Savi in that, isn't there? He says, I'm sure she wasn't gunning for your sister, but these things happen in war. My failure was being slow to group Coin's plan. She let the Capitol and the other districts destroy each other. She stepped in to take power with 13th's arsenal. Make no mistake, she intends to take my place now. But I've been watching you, and you watching me. I'm afraid we've both been played for fools. Katniss says, I don't believe you. And then, I think I already talked about her and Gale, and that was before, but now it happens. Then she, like, asked Gale, like, bitch, why you didn't come see me? Were these arc bombs? What the fuck happened? And Gale's all like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I was supposed to protect your family. And she's like, bitch, bye. Okay. Then after that scene, this is my favorite part. She gets called into this conference room with Coin and the other remaining victors. There's 7 of them left. Victors are the people who have had to participate in the Hunger Games. And Coin goes, I've invited you all here for several reasons, but first I have an announcement. I have taken the burden and the honor of declaring myself interim president of Pan Am. Hi, Mitch goes, what? Interim? How exactly how long is interim? Coin says, we have no way of knowing for certain, but it's clear that people are far too emotional right now to make a rational decision. It's really important because we've talked about emotional manipulation. So for her to say people are too emotional to make a rational decision is very important. And that saying within itself can just be put all over things that we experience in our lives, okay? We'll plan an election when the time is right, but I have called you all here for a more important vote, a symbolic vote. This afternoon we will execute Snow, and hundreds of his accomplices also await their deaths. Capitol officials, peacekeepers, torturers, and game makers. Now that part I put an asterisk by because it's very important. So she's going to not only execute Snow, but planning on executing everyone else. And then she's like, but wait. But the danger is, once we begin, the rebels will not stop calling for retribution. Thirst for blood is a difficult urge to satisfy, so I offer an alternative plan. Majority of 4, we move forward. No one may abstain. The proposal is this. In lieu of these barbaric executions, executing people, so it's like in Nazi Germany when they killed Hitler and then they got all the, what are those folks called? The other Nazis, right? They should have all died because they were all carrying that out. So she says that killing those folks who carried out the Hunger Games and everything by President Snow, killing them would be barbaric, okay? So we will hold a symbolic Hunger Games, all right? And Victors look around like, what the fuck, bruh? And someone says, was this the dude's idea? And she's like, no, it was my idea. It balances the need for revenge with the least loss of human life. You may cast your votes. PETA says, oh, hell no. Joanna says, yeah, I'm crazy, bitch. Let's do it. Smart Guy says no. Katniss says, oh, and then the other chick, I don't know who she is. She didn't really have, like, an important role at all. Anna was, she says no, and then the other chick says yes, let's let the Capitol kids do it. And then it's up to Katniss and Hi Mitch. And Katniss is just looking at her and she says, as long as I get to kill Snow. And Coin says, I wouldn't expect anything less of you. And then she says yes. And then Hi Mitch looks at her, and Hi Mitch has been like her OG from day one, right? He's cool. And he looks at her, and they make this nonverbal, beautiful eye contact of like, bitch, I'm gonna fuck this bitch up, you know? And he goes, I'm with Mockingjay. So he votes yes as well. So then, the best part of the whole movie is that they all gather at like the center, and Coin's speech. She gives this beautiful speech. Snow is like beneath her on ground level, and she's way above. She's all like in gray with her gray hair. She says, welcome to the new Pan Am. Today on the Avenue of the Tributes, all of Pan Am, a free Pan Am, will watch more than a mere spectacle. We are gathered to witness a historic moment of justice. Today, the greatest friend to the revolution will fire the shot to end all wars. May her arrow signify the end of tyranny and the beginning of a new era. That's very important foreshadowing. Mockingjay, may your aim be as true as your heart is pure. A couple things I left out, but I'll get to it. So then Katniss has her bow and arrow pointed at Snow. She and Snow are having another one of those little eye conversations. And then all of a sudden you see her go, put her arrow up, and she shoots Coin in the heart. She falls. Everybody, so like when Katniss was like walking towards the end, I know I'm giving more than a synopsis. I just have to explain everything. Then the people like start running towards Snow, and like they take care of him, which is great. The people deserve that. So they killed him, and then Katniss, they pull Katniss away, and Haymitch is like, girl. And she has a lot of support. So then she goes back to District 12. There's an election, and that first commander who said that really great quote is elected president of Pan Am. And she actually has good character, and it's beautiful. And then Peeta comes home, and Katniss and Peeta live happily ever after. They have kids, whatever. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is trusting folks in your inner circle. Because throughout the movie, this is really, really heavily seated, where people are giving her little droplets of how much Coin doesn't like her and is just using her. Before Boggs dies, he says, like, she sent Peeta here to kill you. She doesn't like you. She thinks you're competition. And he tells her, like, don't trust any of these people around you. And that was, like, when they first got into the Capitol to, like, go on this assassination thing. And then, so I think trusting your inner circle is very important, especially I have a group of friends I call my apocalypse team. And like, if you have to have folks around you that you trust, in times of extreme struggle, right? Especially if you don't want to have to rely on the powers that be to support you, right? So I want to talk about that. Really important to stay true to your integrity, be able to vet what people are saying to you, and this can apply more to like what we're seeing. And then also, what's that? Come here. You gotta be quiet, buddy. You can't do all that. I'm not done yet. And then also, I think the most important thing is that I really want to point out is that, say Snow represents a Republican, right? And Coin represents a Democrat. I think that this movie in itself does a really, really good job of making sure that folks know that when there's that thirst for power, regardless... I'm trying to pet you. What do you want me to do? When there's that thirst for power, regardless of affiliation, a means to an end will continue, okay? And so if nothing else, I really want you to see that. And the other thing I want to say is that I've been seeing a lot of folks bring up Hunger Games as a reference to what people are going through right now. And that's all fine and dandy because we're just like, what the fuck? This shit's crazy. But what people are bringing up when they're referencing Hunger Games is the power in the states that be. They're not... Folks aren't referencing Hunger Games as a means to come together as a revolution. And that's concerning and that's why we're doing this, because I want you to know and see and understand how it can work and be played out. Now, this is just a movie, but those are the really important things that I was thinking about yesterday. I thought it's just such a beautiful poetic justice that Coin's speech at the very end is like, let her arrow put an end to tyranny, and then it kills her. Because this bitch was just gonna step into this space and be like carrying out the same things, which is what we see year after year after year with elections. Which is why it's important to make this distinction when we look at movies, to understand that all of these motherfuckers who are power hungry or money driven want the same end game for themselves, and we become just a way and a means to get there for them. And that's what Hunger Games does really well, to make this idea digestible. And I want to remind you that the people win, all right? There is a rebellion, there is a revolution that happens, and it changes the course of their country forever. It brings about peace. because people are sick of it. Okay? Next week we're going to be doing V for Vendetta, which is also about revolution. I'm not sure if y'all are seeing the common theme here. But I just wanted to pull those points apart. Enjoy the movies. They're a little heavy. I always have to fast forward through the mutt part in the last movie. That shit's intense. I don't like it. So when they're in the underground tunnels. And the movies are a lot, especially when we do use them as a lens to look at our own reality. But I encourage you to do so, and also share what things you're seeing. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Also, if you have any movie recommendations, I don't have a large breadth of intense movies that I've watched, because I just would prefer to watch Adam Sandler movies. So if you have any more suggestions of things that you want to go through, let me know. Put them in the comments. Otherwise, enjoy your day. Oh, the tree says hi. Enjoy your day, and I will see y'all next week for V for Vendetta.